All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Kirtana Devi, and today I'm going to present about the introduction to our handbook. So, based on our handbook, we are actually doing a handbook based on literature teaching, which is mainly for educators. So, educators here refers to teachers. So, so do so this teaching handbook is a valuable resources for educators at all levels, especially when they are in high school. And this handbook that we have created have offer practical guidance and on teaching literature effectiveness. Now, based on this handbook, we have so we have developing a literature-rich classroom environment, selecting and analyzing the diverse literary texts, facilitating meaningful discussion, and incorporating technology, assessing students, and also engaging students in creative and analytical learning as well.
Next presenter can present.
Good day, madam. My name is Shalini Gunasekharan. So today I'll be presenting my activity. So the poem I've chosen for my both activity is the poem titled Poison Dog by Raymond Williams. So uh, I literally uh, my skills is listening skills. And also my link is Padlet link, and also my teaching aid is Padlet link and also video. I've attached. The task is the student have to listen to the audio and also write the summary on the Padlet link provided. For the activity two is the students have to read the poem and also answer the questions given by the teacher in the Padlet link. That's all for me for today, madam. Thank you.
Good day, madam. I'm Shantini Ramanujam. Now I'm going to present for the next activity, and also the literary text we choose is the poem. The title is The Day the Bulldozers Came" by David Paul. So, as for the activity for this literary text, I've choose creating a visual representation of poem. So, as a content, as a learning standard, I have used listening, and also the complementary skill if I have used the writing skill. So for this task, is the teacher will be using the audio for the for the kids. They will play the poem, and also they need to listen to read, and also the teacher will explain the poems to the kids. Once they done with the explanation, the teacher requires the student to create create a visual representation of the poem. So once they're done with their uh, visual representations, so they need to present as a gallery work. So the each student can go to their next groups, and they can look for their other group mates works. That's all from me, madam. I pass to next presenter.
greetings, madam. So now I'll be explaining about the poem the story that we have choose called Lamb to the Salt, Lamb to the Slaughter by Roald Dahl. The content standard is based on explore and expand ideas for personal developments by reading independently and widely. The learning standard is read, enjoy, and give a personal response to fiction or non-fiction and other suitable print and digital text of interest. So the level of proficiency is intermediate. The teaching aid that I have used is A4 mounting board, written strips of sentence from the story colored paper. So the mode is physical. The skill that we have choose is reading skill. The duration of this activity is 1 hour. So based on this task, the teacher will create an excerpts from the story in order to test the student understanding whether they remember the whole story or not. So the student when have to rearrange the excerpts that are jumbled up and arrange them according to the story flow. So the benefit of this activity is to test remembering of the flow of the story that they have learned previously in the class. This activity helps the student to improve their storytelling abilities, creativity, and also their critical thinking skills. So that's all from. Oh, so the second activity is called character sketches. So based on character sketches is where it's based referring back to the same text called Lamb to the Slaughter by Roald Dahl. So the content standard is express an imaginative response to a literary text. The learning standard is respond imaginatively and intelligibly through creating PowerPoints, visual posters, blogs, and web pages, and other imaginative responses that are appropriate. The level of proficiency is an intermediate. The teaching aid that the teachers has to use is markers, pencils, papers, colored pencils. So the mode is physical and the complementary skill is based on a literature in action. So the duration is about 30 minutes. So based on this task, the teacher will have to provide student paper and art supplies in order to create the visual representation of the story characters. So the teacher will have to encourage the student to include physical description such as facial expression and symbolic elements that reflect each character personality. So when the sketches in the character, it will it will encourage them empathy as well to put themselves in the shoes and also different characters and also by considering their experiences. So this group setting, so when the student do the sketches, they could share and discuss the sketches in a group settings. So the group setting here promotes a collaborative learning among the students and encourage students to ask more question and keep engaging in the meaning dialogues based on the story characters and particular themes of the story. So that's all from me.
Hi madam, good day. My name is Rinisha, daughter of Vigneshwaran. So today I would like to explain about my activity, which is online quiz. So first of all, the content standard is communicate information, ideas, opinion and feelings on familiar topics. Moving on to the learning standard, it's 2.1. Ask about and explain simple process. It's an online activity. Level of student is intermediate. The learning skills is speaking skill. The duration of the activity is 30 minutes. Moreover, the task, the teacher want to highlight the benefits of the quizzes for the students, such as reinforming their understanding of key concept. Moreover, promoting active learning and providing valuable feedback to guide their progress.
Okay. Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. My name is Nurkisina Azawin Hirosni, and I will be explaining about activity that I have developed called character analysis. So this activity focuses on reading skills. So as you guys can see, the text is Boys and Girls by Alice Munro, a short story. And then as for content standard, it is understanding a variety of texts by using a range of appropriate reading skills, reading strategies to construct meaning. So as for learning standards, there are two. The first one is to understand specific details and information in longer text or an increased range of familiar topics. And the other one would be recognize with support of the attitude or opinion of the writer in simple, longer text or on an increased range of familiar topics. So the mode for this activity is online. Level of proficiency is intermediate. Complementary skill is speaking. Duration is 1 hour, and then the teaching aids will be online whiteboard, Google or Zoom meeting. Okay, so generally speaking, the task involves students to read and discuss the literary work of Alice Munro. So in this activity, the students will have to work in groups, analyze the character's traits and personality. The students will also have to produce and present their mind maps to the class and justify their findings. So from this activity, the students will learn how to connect actions and intentions of the characters. Hence, the student will develop a stronger sense of understanding towards literary work and knowledge that can be reflected in their daily life. Okay, so my second activity that I have developed is called Discussion on Gender Role Issue, which focuses on speaking skills. So the text is still the same as the previous activity, which is Boys and Girls by Alice Munro. And then my content standard will be communicate information, ideas, opinions, and feelings intelligibly on familiar topics. The content standard is first to explain your own point of view. Second would be express and response to common feelings such as happiness, sadness, surprise, and interest. The mode for this activity is again online. Level of proficiency is intermediate. Complementary skill is listening skill. Duration would be 1 hour. And then as for teaching aids, the teacher is suggested to use online whiteboard. Okay, so as for this task, the students will be discussing the theme of the literary work by Alice Munro, which is gender role and their significance. So the teacher will provide 5 related issues that are happening in the current world and discuss the impact and opinion of the students towards the issue. The students will learn how to express their thoughts and feelings throughout this activity, which will further help them to relate and reflect on their daily life. With that, I would like to pass the presentation to the next person.
Good day, madam. I'm Tiruma Rama. So now I'm going to present the next activity, which is story sequence shuffle. So the text I chose is Boys and Girls by Alice Munro, which is a short story. And the content standard and the learning standard I chose from the DSKP book. And the mode for this activity will be face-to-face. And the learning proficiency is intermediate, and the complementary skill is speaking skills. And the duration for this activity will be 1 hour, and then the teaching aids for this activity will be the story index cards. Basically in this activity, the students will organize the index cards into the proper order for the short story in a group setting. So in this task, the students will get a few index cards with many key moments from the short story printed on them. So during the presentation, the students must work in teams to identify the proper order and provide the justification for placing the events in that specific order. So this will be a fun and engaging activity for the students to analyze the story structure and also practice critical thinking skills. That's all from me. I will pass it to the next presenter. Moving on to the next activity. So the next activity is character journal. So as for this activity, the text I chose was The Elephant Man, which is a novel. And then the content standard and the learning standard I chose from the SKP book. So as for the content standard, is communicate intelligibly in through the print and digital media on similar topic, and the learning standard will be express and respond to opinions and common feelings such as happiness, sadness, surprise, and interest. So the mode for this activity will be individual and also face-to-face activity. The level of proficiency for this activity is advanced, and then the complementary skill for this activity will be writing, and the duration for this activity is 1 hour. So the teaching aids are pencil and literature book, or the teaching and also use the A4 paper. So in this task, the students will be journaling about the selected character from the novel. In this task, in this activity, students will reflect on their thoughts, feelings, and then the main ideas of the narrative while putting themselves in the character's shoes and also seeing their life from their points of view. So the students will benefit from the activity by having a deeper understanding of the novel and also the characters within it. Here, the students will also express and debate their ideas and feelings in front of the class after completing their journals. That's all from me. I will pass it to the next presenter, madam. Thank you.
For the conclusion, the Handbook for English Language Teachers that consists of 5 face-to-face teaching activities and 5 online classroom teaching activities provides a comprehensive resource to enhance language instruction in both traditional and virtual setting. Moving on, by incorporating a diverse range of activities, the handbook ensures engagement and active participation among students while promoting language and skill development. Furthermore, the face-to-face teaching activities offer opportunities for interactive and communicative learning, fostering student engagement and promoting language use. Other than that, these activities encourage interpersonal interaction, collaboration, and real-life application of language skills. They provide a platform for students to practice speaking, listening, reading, and writing in meaningful contexts. Lastly, on the other hand, the online classroom teaching activities technology to creative, dynamic and interactive learning experience. Moreover, these activities capitalize on the advantage of virtual environment such as multimedia resources, online collaboration tools, and personalized learning platform. They enable students to practice language skills through interactive exercises, multimedia presentations, visual discussions, and online assessment. That's all from me, madam. Thank you.
So greetings, madam. So now we are going to present the two activities which we have chosen from the handbook. Which one will be the face to face, and another one activity will be the online. So as for the first activity, which is the face-to-face, the activity we have chosen is story sequencing shuffle. So the text for this activity will be Boys and Girls by Alice Munro, which is a short story. And then the content standard for this activity is communicate appropriately to small or large group on familiar topic. And then the learning standard for this activity is summarize the main points of the story. So the mode for this activity is group activity, and also it is a face-to-face activity. So the learning proficiency of this activity is intermediate, and then the complementary skill is speaking. The duration for this activity will be 1 hour, and then the teaching aids is story index cards. So as for this task, um, the students will receive a few index cards with many key moments from the short story printed on them. In this activity, the students will work in teams to identify the proper order and provide the justification for placing the events in that specific order. So basically, this will be a fun and engaging activity for the students to analyze the short story structure and also practice their critical thinking skills. So now I'm going to explain on how the teacher can approach the activity in the classroom. So before conducting the lesson in the class, the teacher must divide the story into several key events and scenarios and uh, write it in separate index cards, and also must shuffle the index cards to make sure the cards are not in the chronological order. During the task time, the teacher must split the students into group of 4, and also can give each group a deck of shuffle cards and explain that they will be collaborating to arrange the story in the correct sequence. When organizing the short story sequence, students must take into the consideration that the beginning, middle, and the end of the story. So throughout the task, the teacher may assist the students to organize the scenes from the story. Then the time allocated for this activity will be 30 minutes. Once finishing the task, Each group is required to come in front and present their chronologies to their classmates. So they would also have to give a specific reason for the events sequence. After all the groups presented, the teacher may also conclude the class by having a reflection session where the learners will discuss the events and get a better understanding of the story. That's all from me, madam. I will pass it to the next presenter.
Hi and good evening to everyone. So I will be explaining about the activity that I have developed, which is character analysis. So in this activity, we focuses on reading skills. So the text would be Boys and Girls by Alice Munro, which is a short story. And then as for content standard, it is 3.1, understand a variety of text by using a range of appropriate reading strategies to construct meaning. As for the learning standards, there are two. So the first one is to understand specific details and information in longer text on an increased range of familiar topics. And the other learning standard would be recognized with support the attitude or opinion of the writer in simple, longer text on an increased range of familiar topics. So the mode of this activity is online, level of proficiency is intermediate, complementary skill is speaking, duration 1 hour, teaching aids will be online whiteboard, Google or Zoom meeting. Okay, next. So I'll be explaining about the task. So this activity will require students to work in groups to analyze their character's traits and personality. So the students will produce and present their own mind map to the class, and they will also have to justify their findings. So from this activity, the students will develop stronger sense of understanding towards literary work. So how do we approach this activity? So there are 8 steps in total. So step 1, the students will have to read the short story in advance. So we suggest about 1 to 2 days before the class. So second step is that the teacher will share an online whiteboard link to the classroom. So the website is called webwhiteboard.com. So the third step is that at random, the teacher will ask students to edit and type in all the characters' name into a mind map. Steps number 4 is that those who were chosen to edit the names will be appointed as group leaders. Step 5, in groups of 5, the students will discuss the character's personality, motivation, and actions from the story. So the students will also have to justify their findings. Step number 6 is that the students will have to edit the existing mind map in the shared online whiteboard. So the suggested time for this activity will take about 20 minutes. Step number 7 is that once all the task is completed, each group will present and justify their work to the class. Other group members will have to listen and give their opinions on the presented points. And lastly, to conclude the class, the teacher and students can take a screenshot of the shared whiteboard as a summary of today's lesson. With that, I would like... Okay, with that, thank you.